This is Sports Central with Joe D and John Franchini on WICR.
And we are back, second segment of the evening, and we're going to start off with some MLB action. Right now, a bunch of games going on. We have the Atlanta Braves who are up 1-0 after 3 against the Mets. We have the Toronto Blue Jays up 2-0 against the Astros after 3. The Baltimore Orioles, who have a 3-2 lead against the Yankees in Tanaka's home opener. We'll get to them a little later. The Miami Marlins putting up 5 runs after 2 against the Nationals, and a 3-3 game between the Brewers and Philadelphia and the Phillies. But let's stay with New York and start with the New York Mets, who started off the season rather rough, 0-3 against being swept.
Lightly, Joe. To put it lightly.
To put it lightly, yes. Roughed up.
Terrible and awful and abysmal and excruciating to watch.
Okay, you could say all of that,
That
yes.
Washington series.
Sure. Well, they were swept by the Washington Nationals, and then came the Reds, where things turned around, and the Mets have now won 3 out of their last 4 games, including last night's victory, 4-0 victory against the Atlanta Braves, where Bartolo Colon earned his first victory as a Met, pitching 7 scoreless innings, allowing 6 hits and striking out 5 batters. And then on the offensive side of the ball, that game, shortstop Ruben Tejada went 2 for 3 with 3 ribbies. You're rolling your eyes. You're not a Tejada fan over here?
You can say that.
Okay, I can say that, so I will say that.
You can say I'm not a fan of his.
And then Jose Valverde closed out the game despite not being a save opportunity. But I mean, this guy.
Did you watch the end of the game, Joe?
This guy's huffing and puffing.
Did you watch the end of the Met game?
This guy's huffing and puffing.
How that game ended? How awful and excruciating that was?
Did they get the win?
Yeah, they got the win, but it shouldn't have been that hard.
They got the win. They won 4-0.
They couldn't throw the ball to second base.
They won.
They won 4-0.
That's all that matters. That they got that W.
You're right. That is all that matters.
Because at this point, it's going to be very difficult getting W's. All right. So let them enjoy every W that they get.
Oh, I am.
And you're complaining over there.
Yeah.
You're complaining because they didn't play perfect baseball. At least they're winning games.
Forget about perfect baseball. He didn't make the routine plays.
At least they're winning games.
You're right, Joe.
I know I'm right. You don't have to tell me.
Oh, all right.
And now Valverde has been named closer, obviously, now with Bobby Parnell, who was injured with a partially torn MCL.
And another one bites the dust.
Another one bites the dust.
For the pitchers in the major leagues this year.
He successfully underwent Tommy John surgery yesterday, and he'll be back on the mound hopefully in a year or so.
Right.
But now the Mets are down, like I said earlier, 1-0 now against the Braves.
Go Wheeler versus Santana.
Good matchup.
Good matchup. Wheeler has a good record against the Braves. I don't think he's lost a game against the Braves, actually. And this is a big game for Wheeler. I mean, obviously they're down right now 1-0, but as far as this Mets pitching is concerned, they've really been stepping up and really producing as far as holding the fort, because this Mets offense isn't giving them any type of breaks.
This Mets offense is very weak. Very
weak.
And what needs to be strong, not only does their starting pitching need to be strong because they can't fall behind early, otherwise they're not catching up, but their bullpen has to be even stronger to be able to preserve these if they go into the 7th inning with a 2-1 lead or a 3-1 lead. Any close game, the bullpen needs to be top-notch in order to get some W's. It's gonna be tough.
Well, the pitching has been top-notch, Joe. The pitching has definitely been top-notch, and the hitting...
Good. The pitching's been good, not top-notch. I mean, they have lost.
Well, Dylan G, I mean, the 2 games he's pitched so far this season have been good. Have I not? Have they not?
They've been good. But top-notch is putting them on a level that they're nowhere near. Is what I'm saying.
What would you consider top-notch?
Top-notch, I'm considering 2 or 3 aces.
Oh, I'm talking about performance.
Performance-wise,
they've been very good.
They've been good.
Come on, I mean, their offense isn't scoring for them. But their bullpen has been terrible. Their starting pitching has been very good, Joe.
Their bullpen is what needs to be superb. And if they're gonna win games, John, their bullpen needs to perform. Their starting pitching needs to continue to do what they've been doing. I agree with that. But the key for the Mets is their bullpen needs to be able to close out games, preserve leads. Their offense, their bats aren't going to do it.
They need to preserve leads, but I'm telling you right now, it goes back for me. It goes to the offense, because with this offense, they don't give this pitching staff a lot of breathing room. I mean, every game is a one-run game, except for last night.
I understand that, but what do you expect when you don't have hitters? You don't have hitters in that lineup.
I understand.
That's the other frustrating part. You don't have hitters in this lineup.
Cologne pitched great last night, man. He pitched terrific, but you can't expect pitchers to pitch like that every single night out. You have to have some. You have to have some type of production out of your offense. You go down the list of this Mets lineup. Eric Young Jr. is batting 160. Granted, it is 8 games to the season.
Yeah, it's relatively early, no matter.
It's very early, no matter what. Obviously, you have Eric Young Jr. not hitting the ball a lick. You have Curtis Granderson, who looks like he's going to strike out 200 times this year. You have Travis d'Arnaud. I mean, this. You as a fan, as us Met fans, we get angry at when our players don't perform, especially our top prospects that Travis d'Arnaud is. But now it's starting to get to the point where, man, this guy, I feel bad for him. He's not getting he can't buy a hit. He's batting 100.
It's tough.
He hasn't. I think he's gotten one or 2 hits this whole season. In 8 games, so maybe 1 hit.
It's definitely.
He's slumping. One for 25, I think it is.
He is definitely in a slump. But like we said, it is early, so it's hard to put so much pressure on everyone right now and how they're
it's way too early
how they're playing. But what's interesting now that we're talking on the offensive side is the Mets' first base position, where it seems that Terry Collins is a fan of Lucas Duda. It seems like he's favoring him more over Ike Davis, probably based on how Ike has performed last year.
Right.
Quite frankly, I think we need Ike at first base. I'd rather have Ike on first base than Lucas Duda.
All right, and what is your argument for that? Why do you think Ike Davis is a better solution than first base than Lucas Duda?
I mean, once again, it's early in the season right now. So, I mean, stats, it's tough to compare stats. But if we wanted to look into the stat range, and I did some research, and I compared both of them 5 years in the MLB. All right? Both of them in the league for 5 years. If you look at this year right now, you have Ike Davis, who's batting 4 for 9 with 4 ribbies in 5 games. Solid, very solid. I'd take that. Now you have Duda, who's 3 for 18 with 4 RBIs, batting 167.
Right.
I mean, awful. And he's played in all games this year. You know?
Right.
And then you look to their career, and now you have Ike, who is he has better power, more power.
Okay.
He's brought in more runs. He's batted 300 once in his career.
Seems like forever ago.
It may seem like forever ago,
but it happened.
It happened. He's batted over 260, which isn't anything to brag about, at least 3 times. Now
but I mean that's better than if he provides you the power and he's hitting 260. I would definitely take that. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. But then you look at Duda, who's never batted 300, and his highest has been 292, and after that, he hasn't batted higher than 239. I mean, granted, Ike strikes out a lot more than Duda, but still, I think they're being a little too tough on Ike after last year's performance.
Well, I can't blame them for being tough on Ike just because of how terrible he's been for the last year and a half. But the reason why I think Lucas Duda is at first base and not Ike Davis is because of the on-base percentage thing, where Lucas Duda takes more pitches. This is how the Mets have become now with the new ownership and the new coaching, is that they'll take a walk. They take a walk rather than, a guy that's going to swing for the fences and have more of a chance to strike out and not get on base at all. So I think Lucas Duda is the type of guy that can get on base as far as walking, and he'll work in that bat, raise the pitch counts, which I think is a terrible way of trying to win a ball game.
I think that's awful.
It's a terrible way to win. But that's how it is right now. That's how it is.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I just think that's just a terrible mindset to go into games. You're basically telling your batters to wait for your pitch.
It is.
To wait for your pitch.
And Ike Davis, as far as this Ike Davis and this Mets management is concerned, is that I feel that Terry Collins has made a commitment to Lucas Duda, and that he isn't going to back off that commitment, because Lucas Duda is a guy that has come up through the system, and he has hit 15 home runs last year, whereas Ike Davis batted 140 and, 6 home runs? Come on.
I mean, I still believe that Ike really he deserves a shot. I go back to a few years back where he had those 30 home runs and it just it tells me that
I can't stand Ike Davis, to be totally honest with you. I can't stand him when he gets up to the plate, but does hit 30 home runs before, and I think that it may be a full shot he can get back to that. Who knows?
All right, we got a guest joining us right now. Let's bring him in. Let's see what he's got to say. Can you hear us?
I can hear you, and I got to just say this. Right now, the Mets have to get something from Duda or Davis, because the way it is now, there's 7, 8, 9 hitters. It's like having an automatic 10 out.
It's automatic out.
They're playing with 17 outs. Think about it. They're playing with 17 outs. How are you going to win games playing with 17 outs?
You're certainly not going to win many games if you're playing with those many outs. But let me ask you a question. Who would you go with at first base, though?
It's kind of like trying to date 2 ugly girls.
Wow.
At this point, it's you don't want to take either of them to the prom.
That might be the best analogy I've heard of this whole situation.
But unfortunately, you got to take one of them to the prom. So who do you put at first base?
I would give it for Davis to lose again.
Again, and why is that?
Because he's proven he can hit 30 home runs.
He's a good dancer.
Exactly the point.
And he's good in the field when his head's right.
Yes, that's definitely true.
Dude's a disaster. Oh, Duda day. And I think he's Ike Davis is a proven player. You know that he could put up the numbers. But the Mets got to do something with this offense, because again, they're not getting anything from catcher. They're not getting anything from shortstop. And Granderson's a streaky hitter. We know Wright can go into his lulls and everything. So they've got to find a way to get some offense here, because, again, they're playing with 17-ounce guys. This is something you can't win 85, 90 games by doing that.
But the problem is you need to make a move. Where are they going to make a move? How are they going to make a move? Are they going to have to look into their young pitching prospects and maybe take one of them and throw them into the market and see what's out there, what teams would give up?
You could always take a risk on a Kendry Morales or something like that. But what are they willing to give up? You never want to give up good pitching, because you see all the Tommy John surgeries going on.
Right.
Look at the Braves this year, how they've been decimated with pitchers going with down Tommy John surgery, and of course what's going on with the Mets. They lose Bobby Parnell, so they got to worry about their bullpen right now as well. How much is Jose Valverde going to do? And you got Bartolo Colon, 40 years old. He's really the ace of the staff, if you want to know the truth right now.
Hey,
no, you're right.
You're right. Couldn't have said it better. But quite frankly, I don't know if there's enough, if the Mets have enough to give up and are willing to give up in order to bring in those bats, which they desperately need.
The only way they would be able to get those bats is to give up their pitching, because we all know that anybody on the Mets 40-man roster right now that handles
they're not going to give up Syndergaard, so
no way.
That's out of the question.
There's no way
Maybe
that's happening.
Maybe they could try and put a package together for Morales or something like that.
Morales is a free agent.
Yeah. So, there you go.
So but we all know. I think there's a better chance that the Mets get rid of their prospects than spend their money. They've shown that they don't even want to spend a dime.
Yeah, I was watching the game last night. It was interesting that I don't know if you guys saw with Bartolo Colon, Bunting and Rondon basically saying, look, someone's got to say, look, big guy, you want to win some games there? You got to keep your butt in the box right there.
Yeah, he looked terrible.
Yeah, he looked terrible, but his pitching performance was outstanding last night. And the big thing he's doing is sucking up innings and saving that bullpen from having to come in early. So who would have thought Bartolo Colon, 40 years old, incredible performance so far early on for the Mets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. And thank you for joining the program and being a loyal listener of Sports Central. We always appreciate it.
You guys are doing a great job. I listened to you a long time. How does it go? Long time?
First time, long time.
First time, long time.
Very nice. Very nice. Make sure you stay tuned. We're here. We're here every Wednesday evening.
Oh, how you be? We'll catch you next week, Joe.
Sounds good. Thank you, Schmooze. Thank you. But moving on away from the New York Mets.
That prompting got me dying.
Yeah, man, that was a great analogy. Mike is a loyal listener here,
man.
and he's got some good ones. I'm glad he joined
That
the
was
program
great.
tonight. It's been a while since Mike has joined the program, so
Yeah, it has been. It's unfortunate.
So
I'd love to hear from him more.
I'm glad he finally decided to call in again. But moving to the other New York team, we're heading to the Bronx, where the Bronx Bombers are currently down 3-2 in Tanaka's home opener, where the Asian sensation
All right.
gave up a 3-run shot
Let's hear it, Joe. What's his name?
in the top half of the second inning
What's his name?
to Jonathan Scope.
Oh, there
Is
you
his
go.
name, Jonathan Scope.
It's a little
Look
tricky
out.
there with the SCHOOP.
Yeah, it's got a little-
Shoop?
Shoop,
It's
Scope.
not shoop. It's scope.
It's Scope. It was a tough one for me. I'm not gonna lie. I had to use the pronunciation look up during the break. But first, Tanaka's been getting hit.
His first outing, he got ripped. To be totally honest, and
got hit.
early on, he got hit hard. I mean, can you have a more rude welcome to the major leagues than Melky Cabrera gave him with that 3-run shot off of him?
Long guy.
3-run home run off of Masahiro Tanaka. But he settled down. He ended up pitching 7 innings, striking out 8, giving up only those 3 runs. But now this game going in right now, he's pitched 3 in the third innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, struck out 6 though. He's shown that he can strike everybody out.
He's definitely shown that he could take batters down with his pitches.
The only thing that he has to learn that his fellow Japanese baseball player Yu Darvish has kind of established in the major leagues right now is that he limits those hits, and it's more of a swing and miss type guy. Whereas Tanaka, I think he relies on that splitter a lot more than his fastball. Whereas Darvish, he has that more of that overpowering fastball. And Tanaka's really shown that he's in the low 90s, which is in this league. You're not in Japan anymore. You throw these low 90s pitches, too many of them over the plate, they're gonna get ripped, and it's shown that it's happened to him already.
The thing is, though, he has his array of pitches that has some solid movement, some solid drop, which I think, you go from pitching 90-mile-an-hour fastball to a sinking slider, a 12-6 curveball with some off-speed. I mean, it gets the batters going crazy.
Yeah.
And that's what's keeping these batters on their toes, and that's why he's been able to strike out these guys.
Well, I mean, in 2 starts so far, he has pitched 10 innings, and he struck out, 14 guys?
There you go. Good math. Very good. Thinking on your feet over there.
Yeah, I know.
Proud of you.
14 guys. So, I mean, he's going to get that production. He's going to give them the production, the Yankees. But I think that he's going to have to adjust on the way he approaches the batter in the major leagues, whereas in Japan, I'm sure he just went in there saying, all right, nobody's going to be able to hit when I'm going to throw them. So here's 2 fastballs, and here's my splitter, strike 3.
And that's definitely not going to work on
Definitely not.
in the
You
majors.
give him that first fastball, Melky Cabrera showed you what's going to happen. He's going to hit it over the fence.
And the Yanks have gotten in 2 runs tonight, both on solo shots. A former Met, Carlos Beltran, and Kelly Johnson
Hey,
with the home run. So that providing some pop to that lineup.
some good production. Some people out of the infield not named Solarte. How about him?
How about Solarte at third base?
Leading the majors in doubles.
I mean, let me tell you something. It's early, but you got to be excited.
Hey,
Whenever you see someone come up and play like this, you got to be excited, especially since the biggest question was who's going to be playing third base with Alex Rodriguez gone.
the Yankees desperately needed something like this to happen for them.
This kid is leading them, not only the majors in doubles, but he's leading them in several categories.
he's 440.
458, I believe it is. He's batting
Right,
team high 458.
458. You're right.
He's leading the team with 7 RBIs.
Leading the team with 6 doubles.
This kid has come in quick.
Hey, you know what?
Definitely encouraging, man. You got to be optimistic seeing this production out of him.
You can say that it's early in the season. He just has a hot bat. Maybe can he sustain this? Sorry, sustain this. But he is hitting against tough pitching. I mean, he's going up against major league pitches. It's not spring training anymore. You're going up against major league pitching. So he's shown that he can, he can hit a little bit. And will he be able to keep this up? No, he won't be batting 458 for the rest of the season.
Absolutely not. I don't think anybody's batting 458.
He will not be batting
this season.
He will not be batting 458 this season. He will not be hitting 80 doubles this season, which he's on pace for. But, you know, if he can produce out of this third base spot, he's gonna go up in the lineup. He's not gonna be batting ninth anymore, and he might push Jeter back up to the leadoff spot. This is thinking optimistically as a Yankee fan. Jeter back into the leadoff spot, put Gardner in the 9 hole, and make Solari the number 2 hitter if he can show that he's a doubles type hitter.
I mean, yeah, he's like I said.
This is a blessing for the Yankees.
Definitely, you got to be optimistic with what you're seeing from him, and you're just hoping that he could, even if it drops off a little bit, still hit 300 and help a team out who came into the season saying, "Who the heck are we plugging in at third base?"
Right. But
also, you got to be happy. Another player who's playing, I think, is playing great for the Yanks right now is Jacoby Ellsbury.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, this is what he's getting paid for, you know?
Absolutely. Leading the team with 12 hits. And even those times where, you know, he's hitting ground balls that he's going to be out on, the kid is hustling down first base line. And, he should be with the contract he's getting. But, you know, it's early. These are guys that, you know, a few months into the season could be gone with injuries.
And Jacoby Ellsbury has a history.
And that's
a history of injuries.
That's what
I
I'm
can't
saying.
speak right now, Joe. I'm at a loss for words.
You okay? Is everything all right? I know we spoke about the Mets already. We had Mike on.
Jacoby Ellsbury. Here we go. Going back to Jacoby. He might be the most productive player in this lineup, right, throughout the entirety of the season if he stays healthy, because
he can do everything. He can do a little bit of everything.
Do a little bit of everything, and also when healthy, he's one of the best outfielders as far as all-around production this game has to offer. Mark Teixeira, this team is showing their age, and he's youth. He's young, which this team is not. You look up and down this line.
Overall, very old team.
Jeter's old, Beltran's old, Soriano's old, Brian Roberts Johnson is old. You know, this is an old team, and Teixeira, you know, losing him is a big loss, but you got guys like Ellsbury and Solari picking up the slack over here. They really
and I'd like to see, you know, who else I'd like to see pick up the slack who hasn't? Brian McCann. Like I said, early. Everything's early. I'd like to see. I would like to see him hit the ball a little bit better.
Right. Once you get to sort of get into May, see, we still have a few more weeks of April. We got 2 or 3 more weeks of April, so this is time for them to
still baby baseball right now.
Rev up the engines. Start up. We're warming up the old car over here. Now it's time to get into May. Once you get into May,
we're warming up the old car.
That's what it is.
You're warming up the old car.
It's a cold winter.
Night. It's a cold night.
Right.
And you start in the car because
it's time to sit.
Because
let it run.
Pops told you better start that car for 10 minutes.
This is what happens when you have aging cars like Brian McCann. Brian McCann is an aging Chevy.
An aging Chevy.
He's aging. He's got to sit down a little bit. He's got to turn the engine on and he's got to relax and let it run.
Let it run.
Well, once it starts running, he's gonna start going. He's gonna start hitting. And I think but if you're a Yankee fan and McCann is still, you know, not producing the way he was producing in May. No, I mean the way he usually produces. And if he's not producing in May, you got to be a little concerned.
There'll be plenty of baseball talk here on Sports Central for the rest of the semester, that's for sure. We're going to take our last break of the evening, jump back on, and talk a little NBA, Knicks, and Nets. Stay tuned. We will be back.
You're going to tell me 7 carries for 4 yards is helping the team?
Yeah, it was actually helping the team. It did more than David Wilson did when David Wilson fumbled the ball twice.
And an inside handoff as the Giants try to get something going on the ground. And Wilson gets taken down by Hayden, and the ball is loose, and that's Barry Church going to the end zone.
Oh, big deal. They could have tossed a cheerleader over the goal line.